Welcome to Moving Forward, sponsored by MPW Mocklink TV and Mocklink Internet, online at mpw.org. Each weekday morning, our local talk segment brings you the people who are helping move our community forward. Let's start the show.
Good morning, your home in the country, AM 860 and FM 95.1 KWPC, and the voice of Muscatine. I'm Jordan Davis. Thanks for joining us here this morning on a Thursday. And it's time now for Moving Forward. With me in here this morning, Lindsey, Phillips, and Big Brothers, Big Sisters. I just can't seem to say that this morning, can I? Big Brothers, Big Sisters here in Muscatine. And so, Lindsey, how are you this morning?
Good. Sun is shining.
Sun is shining. That is certainly positive. A little chilly yet, but the sun is out. So, well, we're excited to have you. We'd love to learn a little bit about Big Brothers, Big Sisters here in Muscatine. But first off, we want to learn a little bit about you so we know where you're coming from. So, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am a Muscatine native, I guess. Born here, lived here forever. I started with Big Brothers Big Sisters in 2013, doing enrollment, actually enrolling bigs, and then moved into the director role a couple years ago. So I guess we're on year 3.
All right. Now, what got you involved in the program? What made you want to be a part of it?
Right. Actually, I had done social work for a few years in home work, working with families, and just looking for a little something different, maybe more on the preventative side. I think I was doing a lot of reactive social work before, and this kind of just seemed like a step before that. I had seen some kids that I worked with that had interacted with bigs, and then the director at the time, our kids went to daycare together. So It was just a natural conversation, and hey, you know what? I think I'm going to try that.
Just an instant hookup, yeah.
Yeah, yep. So it worked out. She hired me, I guess. So
that's very nice.
That's how it started.
All right. So now tell us a little bit. Just give us as a good a base as we can to understand what Big Brothers Big Sisters is.
Sure. So it's a one-to-one mentoring organization. We're a local organization, so we do all of our own work here in Muscatine. We're part of the YMCA, which is really unique to Big Brothers Big Sisters. But we buy into a brand then, essentially, to be Big Brothers Big Sisters, which is a national organization as well that has national level standards. So it makes us a really, really safe mentoring organization. And BIGS is what we call our volunteers. They get matched up with a little or a youth based on interests, needs, experiences, those kinds of things. And they build a friendship that we hope lasts a really long time.
That's interesting, and that's very encouraging, too, to hear about them. Mentorship is an important part of a youth's life, yes. Especially if there's not family roles like that at home. Little Big Brothers Big Sisters is there to fill that role, and even if there is, it's always good to have a mentor outside of just your folks. It takes a village, right?
Yes.
It takes a village. So that's very interesting. So tell us a little bit about what Big Brothers Big Sisters is doing right now here in Muscatine.
Yeah, so right now we have our biggest fundraiser of the year going on. This one raises over 40% of our funds, usually more, depending on the year. And it funds our ongoing support of matches, really enrolling volunteers, screening them, making sure that they're safe matches, that everyone has great intentions. So, because we realize there's some risk with our program. Mm-hmm. So we make sure that we do a really good job with that, and we take our time enrolling people. So that takes some money and some costs. And Bowl for Kids' Sake is Saturday. We have 2 sessions. There's one at 2 o'clock and one at 5 o'clock. People have been fundraising for us for a month, some more, and they will turn in all of those donations raised on Saturday, and we just have a big bowling party.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. So where do you bowl at?
The Rose Bowl.
The Rose Bowl, right here in Muscatine, right?
Yeah, mm-hmm. So our 2 o'clock session, it's a 48-lane bowling alley, so that's pretty impressive, mm-hmm. right? We've filled the 2 o'clock session, so we don't have any more available lanes there. 5 o'clock, if people still wanted to come down, we encourage you to raise a minimum of $50 because it's a fundraiser. Mm-hmm. And we do have expenses, so we have to cover those expenses and really start making a profit on that so that we can support more matches in the community.
Right, because what you mentioned before, you do extensive background checks, I'm sure, on every big that enters the program. That way that they can be, that and other folks will know that their children will be in safe hands.
Yeah, so we're screening our volunteers at a national, a local, a state level, and then sometimes an international level if it warrants. So we're definitely doing that, but then we're talking to everyone. We're doing interviews that last upwards of an hour. We do orientations with everyone that comes into the program, even the kids, the parents, If you're in our program, you've been talked to a lot about rules and guidelines and how to gauge for safety. We give safety, not lessons, but we talk to families about what could those red flags be and how can we keep everybody in our program safe. And then we go through an orientation process with the big and the little so that they're meeting and they're off on a good start, and then we support that match throughout so that we're checking in with them every single month. Hopefully, well into young adulthood is our plan. So
gotcha. And so you mentioned they meet together in like equal playing field, almost, you could say.
Yeah.
Just where they meet in a controlled environment where there's other folks around.
Sometimes.
Gotcha.
So we have two different types of programs. We have a school-based program and then a community-based program. The school-based program is at the school, and it's during the school day. So we work with the teachers and school staff to let us know what's the best time for a volunteer to come. Those are the kids that attendance we see improving. They're really excited. Their big is there. They're getting along better with their peers on those days. Their homework is done. They really want to earn this time. Not that they have to, but they feel that sense of ownership where they do a little better in school those days.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So, and then the community-based program there's a little bit more leeway in the sense that you're on your own. So you go. We're still supporting you, but you pick the time, you pick the place. What do you want to do? We have a great partner with 4-H in Muscatine, and they provide monthly match events for our bigs with new partners in the community.
Very neat.
So just the other day, our matches got a chance to do Zumba. So we had a Zumba class. So that was a little intimidating for some people, myself included. So I did not Zumba, but is Zumba a verb? I don't even know.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I didn't do that. So, but some did, and they had a really good time. So.
Well, that's encouraging. That's nice to hear that they're having a good time with, and I'm sure not all of it is just go out and play kind of stuff or go out and do a fun activity. I'm sure there's a lot of one-on-one time where they can dig down into some of the maybe bigger issues in the life of a growing kid.
Yeah.
Because there are surprisingly a lot of folks, and some adults don't imagine that kids really have any problems, but there's stuff that goes on with growing up that they need help dealing with.
It's a little heartbreaking, and you don't have to have experience or be the superhero or the big CEO that's going to make you the best role model ever. Your presence enough can really get to those core issues without even talking about it. So when you're spending that one-on-one time with a kid, and we ask for an hour a week, some people will say, well, what can you do in an hour a week? I'm not making a difference. So I'll tell you a quick story. Last week, actually, 2 weeks ago now, probably, we had a phone call from a former little in our program. His match closed over 10 years ago.
Wow.
He had moved away. He was with a transient family, which is really normal for kids to switch schools a lot. He left. He went out of town. His big brother never heard from him again. Didn't know what to do. They had met in school. That was a period where he was probably like, I don't know if I made much of a difference in this kid's life, right? We don't have a way of knowing always. So a couple weeks ago when this kid called, he's an adult now, and he is serving in the Navy. He is, a really successful guy, and he called to say, I don't even remember my big's name. Could you help me find him? But what I do remember is that when he showed up, he taught me manners. He was consistent. He came every week, and I would be nobody without him. I mean, those were his words. So it
That's
was
incredible.
like, hey, this is why we do Big Brothers, Big Sisters, because it was the values that were instilled by just that big brother showing up and really just hanging out with him, modeling a please and a thank you. And so those are the stories that we don't tell enough, but that's why we do it.
But when you get to hear it, it's encouraging.
Yeah.
It makes you know that what you're doing is making a difference. And that's something you can show people especially when they're trying to maybe help become a part of the program, or if they're trying to give to the program, you get to say, we're doing this. This is what it looks like. This is what the impact is.
Nobody provided therapy. We didn't do geometry. We didn't, it was really just
connecting.
Yeah. Yep.
That's awesome. That is an incredible thing that Big Brothers Big Sisters is doing right here in the Muscatine community. So are there any other events coming up?
There will be.
There will be, but are they a ways out yet?
So we have a really, really great community event, and if anyone is going to the Chamber annual dinner, we're going to unveil it there. We're partnering with a couple different agencies. So we definitely have some people that were like, you should be a first no kind of basis, right? So it's going to be really big, and I hope to be back and sharing everything with the community too really soon with some of the people that are going to put that on. So we've teamed with Special Olympics and the Chamber Ambassador Network, and we're going to put on a pretty awesome community event that we're really excited about. So
that does sound exciting.
I know.
That does sound...
More to come. It'll be something that you've probably never done, and I can guarantee you've never done in Muscatine.
All right.
Ever.
Well, I'm getting excited.
I know.
I can't wait to hear about it. And
I can't tell. I'd be in big trouble.
That's all right. I certainly understand.
I'm gonna leave you hanging because it sounds mean but thrilling.
Cliffhanger.
So here we go.
It's a cliffhanger.
Right. Exactly.
Just more reason to have you on next time.
There
all right.
we go.
Well, we're excited. So thanks again for joining us, Lindsey Phillips here on Moving Forward from Big Brothers Big Sisters, partnered with the YMCA here in Muscatine. Lindsey, I hope it's all right with you. We'd like to play a little game here on the Voice Muscatine. It's the DeBeats Bistro Easter Ham Hunt. And we're going to take a quick break, listen to a song, and we'll be back. If you call in now, let's take, what do you say, 5th, 6th, or 7th caller?
5th.
5th caller. We'll take the 5th caller in just a moment here on Moving Forward with Lindsey Phillips still here in the studio with us for the DeBeats Bistro Easter Ham Hunt. You can call in and we'll play a little game right after this on thevoiceofmuscatine.com. Once again, for Moving Forward, Jordan Davis and Lindsey Phillips from Big Brothers Big Sisters. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.